Today, I want to tell you about a fresh perspective on what it really means to be fruitful and multiply as a Christian. And I want to share one particular example with you that I learned recently that was absolutely fascinating to me. And I think it'll provide a different way of looking at this that'll be helpful for you. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. So, what does it mean to be fruitful and multiply as a Christian? Well, I think generally speaking, the basic idea that people associate with this is having children, right? You're going to be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. That has to do with bearing children, having kids, that sort of thing, which I believe is a part of it. But here's a different take on it. We see in Genesis chapter 1, verse 11, before man is created and all these sort of things, before in verse 28, when God says for us to be fruitful, multiply, verse 11 describes what a fruit is. So to be fruitful, you're basically replicating what a fruit does. So in verse 11, it describes that a fruit is something whose seed is within itself. And so just like an apple tree or whatever tree you want to pick, orange tree, they have seeds within them that produce more apples or produce more oranges. Well, for us as Christians to be fruitful, that's essentially what our objective is God uniquely placed within you, within me, within everybody that you know, certain creativity, certain talents, certain gifts, like a certain intellect, a way of thinking, a way of perceiving things that's unique to you. And so your objective is to bring that forth to the world. So whatever talents you have or skill sets or temperaments or passions, things that you're drawn towards, you're supposed to maximize those things that God put within you, and you're bringing them forth to the outside, okay? So that's a basic understanding of it. Now, here's the thing that I learned recently it's just fascinating. It's amazing how God works in creation. I learned this about apple trees, and for my gardeners watching this, you'll know this. An apple tree, just one apple tree, by itself can't really do the job of growing, developing in the way that it needs. It can't pollinate itself. There are a few, like a Granny Smith apple, a green apple, can self-pollinate. But that being said, an apple tree will always produce more apples. It'll thrive at a greater level when there's at least one other apple tree close by. So you have to at least have two so they pollinate each other and they both thrive and develop. Well, sounds a whole lot like human beings because you have certain skills, talents, temperaments, creativity that I don't have, and vice versa. And so in the same way that apple trees being close together, they have unique ingredients and genetics and background that help the other one grow. It's the same thing for us as human beings. So where there are two human beings who are unique, they both pour into one another. It's sort of the idea of like iron sharpens iron. So that's a different way of looking at it, perhaps a fresh perspective on what it really means to be fruitful and multiply. And so what I would encourage you to do is understand the importance of, number one, bringing forth to the outside what God uniquely placed on you on the inside. If you haven't gotten clear on that, I would recommend taking some time, jotting that down. What do you feel like you were naturally gifted at? What do you just have a natural draw towards in terms of passions or different industries or topics? Write those things down and focus on maximizing them. And then make sure you're around a community of like-minded people who maybe have differing talents, gifts, skills, and you can pour into one another and help each other thrive and grow and develop. So that's the simple message I wanted to share with you today. I hope it's helpful for you and fruitful for you. All right, so go forward and take action with this in mind, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, stay blessed by the best. Take care.